I'm afraid to say in some
Yes.
some order is at 10:45 on Sunday.
That's disgusting.
So we have to get up early for that. And then we might have to rush to the Brendan Fraser talk during free talk because I know you're going to want to go to this.
What is
There's
it?
a free Tom Felton talk.
No.
I know.
Okay.
So, and it's like finishes at the same time as Brendan Fraser, but we've got tickets for that, so I don't think we have to rush too much because they're not going to let us not go in.
Yeah, because we've paid for it.
Yeah. We might have to queue up a bit before the Tom Felton.
The summer's calling. The summer's calling. If the kingdom is overthrown, meet me at the cornerstone. I know that I can't be without you. This bond is solid gold. We're a diamond and an emerald. It took me forever to find you. 'Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest days. The summer's calling. As we wait for the smoke to clear and we watch our dreams appear, I know that we can rise together. This vision that we share is ours. Together we can touch the stars. I know that we will see December. 'Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest days. The summer's calling.
So I wanted to make this video really quickly because I have my work shift in like 2 hours. I'm not wearing a watch. 2 hours. I don't know. Whatever. I'm in a rush. And I'm still in my jammies. My hair's a mess. But I really want to get this done because I don't have any other little slot of time to do it in. So here we go. So over the weekend of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is the 26th to the 28th of July, I attended YALC and LFCC, London Film and Comic Con, with my best friend B, and we've been going for about, I think it's 4 years now. This year was the 4th year, and I made a video all about it the first year that I went, just kind of filming everything, being like, oh, it's my first time, look at all this stuff. But we have like a tried and tested system now and I thought it might be useful for people that are like questioning whether to go or not, like just to see how it works and kind of like share my tips for like how to have a good time at Comic-Con and not be overwhelmed with like the stress. So Friday is by far the quietest day. I think obviously most people are at work and they just buy tickets for the weekend. So me and B treat that as our shopping day. So we go around all of the stalls on the main floor. There are 2 floors. It's very like huge, lots and lots of choice. And on Friday it's super quiet. There's no queues, no crowds, nothing. On the Saturday, if you try and shop, there's like 3 people deep at each stall and you have to kind of elbow people, and even when you get to the front there's pressure because there's people behind you and you have to choose what you want really quick, and it's like, it's not a great time to kind of be browsing. So Friday is a really good time just to wander around, choose what you want, get what you can, and just like get out basically before the kind of stampede comes in. And obviously, like as always, I spend too much money. Most of the time actually when I go to YALC and Comic-Con I spend my money on books, but this year I already had a huge TBR pile, so I was trying not to buy books. I know, like radical, but I bought a lot of little like figurine-y kind of stuff that I never usually get, which is really cool because I'm really excited to like put it up in my room. And we went to a stall that had a bunch of like Disney pins, and we went back like several times because we just kept wanting more and I got loads of pins. I'm not usually a pin buyer. Well, I mean, I have quite a few pins, but B is way more into pins than I am, but we just kept going back because they were beautiful, really, really nice ones, and I got like a lot. And I got a beautiful Kiki's Delivery Service print, and I usually always get like a nice print because there are tons and tons of like amazing artists that bring their stuff to Comic-Con. So I splashed out a little bit, and I think she was supposed to be £30, but they gave her to me for 20 because they were nice. Was this like figurine of Sally from The Night Before Christmas, and that's one of my favourite films of all time. She's like my favourite character in that. I mean, I love Jack, but you know, she's amazing and I love her, and the figurine is really beautiful. And they were like, oh, she doesn't often come in the box, and I was like, okay, but you know, I'm gonna take her out of the box. Like, I know that's sacrilege for a lot of people that collect figurines. They're like, keep it in the box, but like, what is the point? Like, take it out, enjoy it, look at it, it's beautiful. And I also got a Slytherin tie, just because. I'm not even in Slytherin, I'm in Ravenclaw, but I was in the mood because we were going to like a talk by the guy that played Lucius Malfoy, and then a talk by Tom Felton, like Draco Malfoy himself, and I was like, Slytherin. And then the only book that I got this year at YALC is called The Furies by Katie Lowe, and it's basically, the back just says obsession, witchcraft, murder, and honestly those 3 words are the only thing you need to get me into a book. But it says, 1999, a 16-year-old girl is found dead on school property, dressed in white and posed on a swing, no cause of death. 4 girls know what happened. They've kept their silence until now. And I read that and it really gave me like Picnic at Hanging Rock, Virgin Suicides vibes. And like, I love both of those things. I haven't read the Virgin Suicides, but I love the film. And so me and B both bought this and we want to read it together because we both recently read Picnic at Hanging Rock together and we want to like discuss. So I'm really interested in like portrayals of like young girls, femininity, and like kind of danger and like what they're capable of. And now on to the most fun part, which is like the events and the talks. Whew. So on Saturday we went to a talk by Jason Isaacs, who, as most of you probably know, played Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter films, although we found out he actually turned down the role like multiple times because they pissed him off at the audition or something, but thank God he took it because he was amazing. And it was just a really nice, like, it was just really nice. It was a free talk and he just seemed really happy to be there, and people were asking questions, and I love the vibe of Comic-Con. Like, everyone is there because they love either the person that you're at the talk of, or they love the fandom, or they love like just coming to shop, and like everyone's there because they love something, and it's just such a brilliant atmosphere, honestly. Like, if you're on the fence about going, I just say go. And also you get exposed to a lot of talks that you wouldn't think that you'd be interested in, or that you wouldn't normally even go to. For example, like on the Saturday as well, I went to a talk by Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo live action, and he's basically played Shaggy, I think, in every Scooby-Doo-ish thing, like the animations, the video games, everything. And you know, he was actually kind of brought everyone down to earth a little bit and got a little bit emotional about you know, how hard the industry is for actors, and he was saying like, I'm not the best actor, but what I'm good at is picking myself up when I get knocked down, and like the reality of how hard it is for actors, and him having to explain to his kids that they had to downsize their house and move and they couldn't afford certain things. And you know, it just is such an ebb and flow, the creative industry, and that was honestly really interesting to hear about. And it was really nice for like him to be so honest and like not even like, you know, trying to like make people in a bad mood, just trying to be honest and open and like saying thank you for like coming to events like Comic-Con, because that is what sustains actors when they can't work and things like that. So yeah, that was really nice and a really good kind of way to spend half an hour. I really enjoyed that talk. But he was also really funny, so I think I have clips of him being funny. I don't know.
So a lot of times people like to do these things and then they ask you questions about how great your life is, and I don't like to do it that way. First of all, there's a lot of people here. You know, I'm not Jason Momoa, right? I mean, I have the abs. I don't, that's a lie.
So Sunday, the big day of talks. We had a lot of talks on Sunday. So in the morning we had the Ian Somerhalder talk, which we paid for, just, you know, for our 14-year-old obsessed Vampire Diaries selves, which was nice. It was interesting. He seemed very tired and jet lagged, but it was an interesting time. We talked a lot about climate change and all of his companies that he's like building. But yeah, he seems like a nice guy and we enjoyed the talk, so it was fun. Then we went for a long lunch at Pizza Express, and like, I shit you not, we were sat 2 tables away from Draco Malfoy at Pizza Express. I was sitting 2 tables away from Draco Malfoy, and like literally every so often like he would not raise his voice in like a shouty way, but like just, you know, whatever they were talking about, and like I would hear his voice, like just tune in and be like, that's Draco, like, you know, do you know what I mean? It was just so weird, it was so surreal. And like people that know me, because I was texting everyone being like, oh my god, I'm in Pizza Express, Draco Malfoy, like everyone I know was like, oh my god, go say hi, go talk to him, blah blah blah. But like I didn't, and here's why. Because I had the schedule of Comic-Con and I knew that he'd been doing like a 3-hour photo session in the morning, and then he was doing a talk later that was free that we were going to, and I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna see him at the talk, and he's been meeting fans all day and he's sitting with his family, and like this is probably his only like hour break or whatever, however long break he gets, and I just don't want to disturb him. And honestly, I'd rather have no interaction, like a bad one where like you can tell they're just not really into it and they just want to relax. So I just didn't, I left it, and like I'm glad I did. Honestly, I had like no regrets, because he ended up noticing us later on for like the complete wrong reason, which is fun. Back to that in a minute. So then we moved over to YALC after pizza, and we saw a talk by Carrie Hope Fletcher, who is like one of my favourite people, honestly. Like I've been following her YouTube channel for years. I've done reviews and read all of her books, I think. All of her books. And I've been to like her Q&As before, like her book launches, and she's just such a lovely, warm person to be in the presence of. I asked her a question, and like most people, when you ask a question at panels, they kind of look at you while you're asking it, and then they kind of address the answer to everybody. But Carrie doesn't do that. She like looks at you when she's answering, and she makes you feel very like seen and heard, and she's just such a lovely person. And honestly, I could listen to her talk for hours, and probably have, honestly, if you add up all the YouTube videos that I've watched of hers. But yeah, really great, really lovely atmosphere, really, oh, I love YALC so much. So then the Tom Felton talk. So me and B were in a bit of a pickle because the Tom Felton talk finished right when the Brendan Fraser talk was supposed to start, and we had paid for tickets for the Brendan Fraser talk because B loves Brendan Fraser. So we knew that we had to leave Tom Felton's talk like 5 minutes early. But here's the thing. I wanted to sit like really close to the front because I wanted all those good pictures, all those nice angles, and also like it's Draco Malfoy, like I want to be near the front. So we did that, and then, you know, because life hates me, the talk started about 10 minutes late, so we had to leave like a lot earlier than we obviously wanted to. So the Q&A portion of the whole talk was done, and it was actually really lovely. He talked a lot about like favourite memories from Potter, obviously, and like a little bit about The Flash. And like, he's such a nice guy, like a really lovely guy, like the complete opposite of all the kind of slimy characters that he plays.
Hi, London! Look at all your pretty faces. How are we doing? All right? Sweet.
And he got up and he was like, oh, I'm going to sing a couple of songs. And so me and B were like, okay, like the Q&A is over, should we go? And then we're like, no, it's really rude to just leave after he's like, I'm going to sing. And then we're like, bye. So we were like, okay, no, we'll sit, we'll listen to his first song. And whilst the applause of that is happening, we'll kind of try and sneak out really quietly. it did not work. So like he sings a song, it was great, it was a really good song, he's a really good singer, like shook. But anyway, we got up to leave and B obviously dropped her water bottle, I dropped my phone, so we're obviously like a bit delayed. We pick up our stuff, kind of like trying to like hustle out like really quietly, but obviously everyone has seen us and heard us, and he looks over to us and he's like, oh, the song wasn't that bad, was it? And everyone laughs, and honestly it was like the worst moment of my fucking life. Like I love Draco Malfoy and I just got like called out and I offended him by like leaving during his song, and I honestly like I'm gonna think about it for like the next 3 years. I'm so embarrassed and I just want to like let him know in whatever way possible that I didn't mean it. I wanted to stay, your song was great and I'm so sorry. God. I'm so embarrassed. I got called out by my teen crush. Although to be honest, like how many people apart from like everyone in Harry Potter can say they got called out by Draco Malfoy? Like it's cool in a way and it's an interaction, sure, but oh my god, I was embarrassed. Like why did it have to be in front of like 1,000 people? Oh. Anyway, yeah, the Brendan Fraser talk after that ironically started 10 minutes late, so we didn't even have to leave early, so that was but yeah, that was also really nice. Like I loved Brendan Fraser, he was so sweet, like, and he was just talking about like his life in the industry, and he seemed really like kind of tired but also just like really like humbled by like all the kind of fans that were there, because obviously he's been off the radar for a little bit, and he's, you know, he's such a lovely guy. That's the thing I love about Comic-Con, is like it really like bridges the gap between like celebrities and kind of normal people. Like that sounds really like wanky, like obviously celebrities are normal people, but like it really makes you feel like, you know, you're kind of one and the same, you're just there to have a little conversation, a little hangout, and it's just really, really lovely. A little extras at Comic-Con that weren't really events or anything that I can't remember when they happened, but me and B, we got a little photo in front of the Monsters Inc. door, and I looked like a little nerd because the photographer asked us to do a different pose for the second picture, and I had no idea what to do, so I just sat down. So that's why that photo is weird. And then they also had like a little E.T. stage, and I took photos of B in front of the E.T. thing because she loves that movie. And they're really sweet. And they also had like some random stall had like the outfits from the Addams Family movie, which was really, really cool, so we also had photos during that. And then also, like, for those who haven't been to YALC before, because YALC is like a bit less crowded than Comic-Con, it's more low-key, that they often use it as like a gateway to get the celebrities to the green room, because they know that YALC, they're not going to be crowded at YALC. And the first year we went, it was like Benedict Cumberbatch that was like using YALC as like a doorway, and then this year it was Jason Momoa. Like I saw Jason Momoa like 3 times come through the YALC panel just to like walk to his green room in like flip-flops and like what is that, like a sarong or something. It was very surreal. I was like, that is Aquaman and Khal Drogo, and just casually like walking through YALC, and we were like, hello. Weird. And also like the guy from the Inbetweeners, like the guy that plays Neil, I also saw him come and go like twice, and I was like, oh Neil, you're my fave. You know, like it's such a weird thing, but like that's what I mean about it. It bridges the gap completely between like celebrities and like you. It's so weird, but it's such a lovely atmosphere. Shush phone, please. So overall, I would say if you're on the fence about going to YALC or Comic-Con, I like highly recommend it. Even if you're anxious about crowds, honestly, like there are ways around that. Like honestly, the Friday, it's really quiet. You can go and buy all your stuff without being crushed in the crowds. And even on the weekend, if you want to go down to Comic-Con but then it gets too much overwhelming, just head up to YALC. YALC is so quiet. There's no crowds. There's space to sit, and there's like chill reading zones, and like the people there are just so lovely. Like I said, everyone's there because they genuinely love something. Whether they're there to see a talk by someone they love, or get a photo with them, or just go shopping, they're there because they love it, or because they want to cosplay. And like it's just everyone's there because they're so passionate, and you can really feel that. It's just such a positive atmosphere. Like I've never had a bad experience at Comic-Con. Like in the 4 years that I've been, I've always come away feeling inspired and happy and like looking forward to the next year. So I really recommend it. And that's kind of all I have to say, and I probably have to like go to work soon, so I keep doing that. I don't even have a watch, but like anyway, I have to go. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you soon.